Hello, this is Rory here again. This is part two of video number one in this series. And it's basically our realization that there were several things that we intended to cover, which we didn't because time got ahead of us. So we will do these in order that they appear on Andy's list. And again, it'll be a conversation rather than a presentation. And we hope it proves useful to you. So, Andy.
Right. The first thing I want to say is don't be put off if you find it challenging, if you find managing the technology challenging. It is complex. You do get better at it the more that you use it. I just want to show you, because I didn't show you in part one of the tools that I use to make sure I've got all the settings correct. It's a checklist, and look how long it is. There's a lot of things you have to do to get it right. Okay, when you get used to it, it gets a bit easier than that. Okay.
I would just say that on checklists, they evolved in aviation, but when the medical profession adopted checklists, their results improved dramatically. So
Yeah.
don't be shy of checklists. They're always a good idea.
I promise you, this is easier than piloting an aeroplane. Okay, some things we forgot to do yesterday. HDMI, I said what it is, but I didn't show you one. So here's one, an HDMI lead is like an inverted D shape, like a flattened D shape, and the socket is a similar shape. Most projectors have an HDMI socket, and modern laptops have an HDMI socket as well. Sharing screens. We didn't say much about sharing screens. So what I'm going to do is show you. So I'm just looking for the share button. There it is. Share. And what I'm going to do is share a little bit of a video from Jeremy. Now, over here on the right hand side, if you're sharing a video, you must share sound, and it's probably best to optimize for video sharing either. That, I think that's a bandwidth thing. If your internet is low bandwidth, it'll make sure it doesn't break up. That's what I think, although I've never noticed any difference. So we'll share that, and we will play the video, a little bit of it.
Sophie asked me to send you a message for tonight's meeting in Sheffield. I'm really sorry I'm not there with you in person.
That will do. Enough of that. Now we'll stop the share. Okay, what's next? I'm just going through these things very briefly, so hopefully this will be short. Visit the venue if it's a new venue. Visit it beforehand. Check out the technology. Check out the accessibility. It's really important that you do that. Otherwise, you might have a surprise and find it's not the way you thought it was when you get there.
If they have a PA and if they have a technician, even if it costs more, use them.
Use them, right. Keep the camera. I run two cameras. Keep a camera on the audience, and keep a camera on the chair of the meeting. So that means at least two laptops to point the camera at each one of these and transmit them over Zoom. Don't forget to switch the video on. That's a common thing that people do.
And don't forget to turn the audio off, the one that's on the audience.
Thank you, Rory. Very good. Now, there's a registration system in Zoom. For some audiences, I use it, but I promise you it's quite hard. Oh, I forgot to go full screen. See, it's dead easy to forget these little things. Hope it's okay. I recommend don't use it. The reason why is because inevitably you will get some people telling you that they have to fill in a form put their email address and their name and stuff, and inevitably they will say they couldn't do it and they don't know how to do it, and will you do it for them? Okay, so it's most easily accessed if you control who gets the link to the meeting. If you can do that, that's better than, of course, a registration system gives you a name and email address, which is good, but you pay a price in terms of people getting onto the meeting easily. Right, have a couple of radio mics, go around the audience, get somebody to go around the audience with microphones for you. You can't manage the Zoom call and go around the audience with microphones at the same time. Right, I've done sharing the screen and videos. I'm happy to help by coming to your meeting if it's not too far from here, by the way, and even run it for you if necessary. Right. You will get... Sorry, Rory, go ahead.
If you don't have two radio mics, you may have to then adapt your procedure for the meeting, because if you have a speaker's microphone, you can get people who want to make a contribution to come up to the front and use the speaker's microphone.
Yes, thank you for that, Rory. Right, you will get people who say the sound is too low. You'll get one on a call, maybe, unless everybody on the call says the sound is too low. Unless a lot of people say the sound is too low, it's not too low. These usually will be people who have problems with their systems. I guarantee if there's something wrong with the sound transmission over Zoom, you'll get a lot of people say so, not one. Okay. Zoom account costs. Now, my account costs about 130 a year, for which I can have up to 100 users. The next slot up takes you up to 300 users, and that's about £4 more a month. So instead of £13 a month, it's about £17 a month. So that's not too bad. Beyond that, it gets a little bit more expensive, but certainly you can host up to 300 a month. 300 a month people. Sorry, you can host calls where you've got 300 people on quite cheaply. Right. You will also find when you're trying to say to your comrades that you should have a hybrid meeting, you will find people who are anti-technology, who really don't want it to be on Zoom at all, and they will argue that you should just have a face-to-face. Okay. I think my view, and I hope I echo Rory's view here, is that technology is here to stay, and we should use it to the best purpose that we can, to make life easier, to make meetings better. Okay.
And it is important, if you do have a hybrid meeting, that the objective is to have the people in the Zoom part of the meeting as much part of the meeting as the people in the actual room.
Absolutely, I think that's vitally important. Yeah, otherwise, the show may be run by the old school politicians, and that's hardly something new, as Zara says she wants, and I think she's right. Okay, cameras. Now, you don't really need fantastic high resolution cameras. You can do them with quite low, both for the audience and the speaker, and you don't need great bandwidth. 30 frames per second or 25 frames per second is perfectly fine and won't use up too much of your machine's resources. So that means that other things will run a lot better if you keep that down. Okay. Now, we've told you about captions. What we haven't said is that that's not the end of the matter. And captions benefit both people in the room and people sitting at home. People sitting at home can switch them on themselves. You don't have to do that. But you should put them on the screen because it helps people in the room, believe it or not. And very often they won't tell you that it's a help to them. They won't tell you that it's needed. But it does help. It does help them. But it's not the end of the accessibility picture. Okay, you have to think about people that profoundly deaf people, particularly, and many profoundly deaf people need some kind of sign language. Now, we're not there yet with Zoom, with sign language. And well, we are and we aren't. You can have human sign language interpreters. There are online services from which you can buy these, but they're not cheap. There's a number of standards, international standards, evolving in order to make the generation of sign languages technically easier, technically kind of interoperable across systems. Now the thing is, that's not an easy job, because there isn't one sign language. There are many sign languages. There's American Sign Language, there's British Sign Language, there's finger spelling, and there's many others around the world. But I'm expecting that this will come sometime in the next 2 or 3 years. We will have sign language on Zoom. But think about people who need sign language and whether
and do remember that sign language is not a translation of English. It is a language in its own right.
Which is the reason why it's actually very difficult to do without a human involved. But technology will do it eventually, because different languages are very different in form anyway. Documents. How can you get your documents both to your online audience and your in-room audience? Well, for your in-room audience, you can show them on the screen, actually for the remote ones as well. But it helps many people if you can get the documents to them beforehand, or if you can give them their local copy of any documents. Zoom has now got a facility to put a meeting agenda in it. I haven't tested what people at home, whether they can see it properly, but one expects that they can. The thing is, not everybody has Word. Your chair and your secretary might well have, but many people sitting at home don't have Word. So you should think about providing them in alternate formats. So one of the things you can easily do is provide documents in PDF. There are other formats that you can use, but I'm not going to mention them because they don't work so well on phones. But PDF will be okay. Word will be okay for some people. Now, one thing you can do to get them to your remote audience, if you haven't emailed them out beforehand, is you can drop them in the chat window and have it set up so that people can download documents from the chat window. There is a setting in Zoom. It's not on the client, it's on the website. Now, when I say the client, I mean the piece of software that you run on your laptop when you're in a Zoom call. It's on the website. But you can do this. I'm afraid you'll have to find it yourself. Okay. What else? Let me just have a look. I think I've actually covered it all. Rory, I've covered all the bits I had written down.
Well, I think you have. I think the other thing we want to say is that if you have watched both of these videos and you have questions, we're very happy to for you to be in touch at the email address that was provided in the last video. But maybe you can do that again here, Andy.
I am doing it again as you speak, Rory.
And we're quite happy to do further in this series if there are particular issues that you think require
there it is.
that require a separate video. Any one of these topics we could do a distinct separate video on if you want it.
Yeah, that's true. And we hope your meetings are successful. and that you are able to involve both audiences in as integrated way as possible. Something I just thought of something I didn't say, and that is if you've got a very, very, very large audience, such as might be the case at the conference in November, then probably the best that you can do is stream to the audience and have pre-arranged speakers who come up to a microphone or who speak from a microphone. I will be surprised if anybody can manage an extremely large audience, of thousands, and have it interactive. But you could certainly do it for audiences below that, a few hundred on Zoom, and a few hundred in a meeting room. You could do this. Okay.
Right, I think that's it. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.